Hey, how's it going guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we are putting together one of our first custom loops, sort of. Are we going to fail? Let's find out.
Yeah, sort of, because this is another one of the combos that we got from Microcenter, and it features a 3080, and we picked up some other parts for a really high-end gaming PC. Very excited to try building our first custom loop. We'll talk more about that here in a second, but first, a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Patriot and their Viper V380 7.1 virtual surround sound gaming headset with great comfort and functionality built around a 53mm driver, large ear cups, a leather headband, a detachable noise canceling microphone, and full spectrum RGB that is customizable via software or can be easily changed by a button on the headset. Upgrade your gaming headset today and game longer while staying comfortable with the Viper V380 gaming headset. Check the link down below to learn more, and special thanks again to Patriot for sponsoring today's video.
So in case you guys didn't know, you can actually go to your local Micro Center and pick up one of these giant boxes that has a case, motherboard, power supply, and graphics card. It's basically just a way to keep scalpers from just straight buying the single cards alone, or miners from buying the cards, because a lot of those people don't want all this extra stuff. This is for the PC build enthusiasts like us, so you get all that stuff, and then this is all you get to buy for the rest of it. Of course, this is kind of extra in our case because not all of these have custom loops built into them.
So what we're gonna go ahead and do is have Jackson unbox this. I'm feeling it's gonna be way heavier than the other one. The stuff just fell, it's already broken. The last time he was struggling to get it out, so maybe this one will be even harder for him. So yeah, let's do it. Yay.
That's a big box.
That's a big box.
But that's a little knife.
I know.
I'm very disappointed. Guys, comment down below.
I'm trying to make this one quick, dude. Big knife for other thing.
Yeah, this is the bitspower combo, the Titan X. Has a little custom loop here. Now, all we're gonna be like custom loop liquid cooling is the CPU, right?
Yes, we did not buy the block. This does come with everything you need if you wanted to cool the whole entire build, so like CPU and graphics card. But we're just going to block that off. I'm going to the floor, I think.
All right, here we go. You will get stronger from this. There it is. Woohoo! Yay!
All right, so I see we got a couple boxes off to the side.
Mobo?
The motherboard's actually not installed.
Oh God.
Unlike the other one.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh, look at the size of this
The GPU, oh God.
Oh.
Look at that, 3080.
Yes. And then, it looks like the rest of it's just in this box. Why does this box have a sheath over it? Is that really
That's a good
necessary?
question. I'm assuming they installed the power supply then.
Yeah, this thing is like really heavy, dude.
Okay.
Like impressively heavy.
Impressively heavy. But yeah, this is the O11 Dynamic. It has the built-in liquid cooling. It looks like it says pre-installed motherboard power supply. And it says it's pre-installed, apparently.
It looks like this is gonna be all the extra. Yeah, see, this is bitspower. So you can buy an O11 Dynamic and then buy from bitspower and get their Titan X combo. I mean, it looks pretty simple. So this soft tubing right here is going to be our fill tube. And then these are our hard tubing that's already pre-bent and everything. Here's all of our fittings. It's supposed to come with block-off fittings because, of course, we do have some extra, ports that we're not gonna be using because we're not doing the graphics card right away. But this build will be for sale afterwards, so of course we will include that stuff because someone else might want to get bold and actually, do some extra cooling. I mean, I would, but I don't want to spend the extra money.
What I was saying, on the box it says the motherboard's installed, but I don't know if that's true. There's no motherboard, it's just cables.
Okay, so
look at all those power supply cables.
They tricked us.
They tricked us.
All right, it's time to get out the big hefty boy.
There she is. She looks huge.
The power supply's installed too, so that definitely adds to the weight. All right, we're gonna clear off some space in the table.
There we go, this is your deadlift.
Okay, not the shock.
We're just gonna keep getting heavier and heavier PCs. Scream! Scream for power!
This one doesn't use styrofoam, so I didn't have to break it.
Nice.
So far this is going really well, I'd say, right?
Yeah, so far so good, nothing's broken.
All right, I'm excited to actually see the front of this because it's really cool how they custom cut like all this acrylic on the front here. And it's, like glued together and everything with acrylic glue, but just look at this. I mean, it's gonna light up. It's gonna look so cool. I'm actually gonna peel this off so you guys can really see it.
Peel.
It's a nice peel. But yeah, so you'll actually be able to see the water going through the channels. We have the actual pump right there that's built into the clear part. So this is gonna look really good. We did just get the most basic fluid you can get. It's just EK Cryofuel Clear. They have a bunch of other cool stuff like the fog. The guy said is the best for RGB, but you know what? We were like, we've already spent enough, and on top of that, he told us if you go with the fog one or any color, you have to change every like 3 months, and I was like, no.
Not a fan of
no,
that.
too much, too much.
All right, you gonna talk about the parts,
No?
the motherboard and stuff that's installed, figure out what
Okay.
power supply we got.
Yeah, you know one thing I did just think about though, is the cooler has fans, but is that it? Is that all the fans that we got?
I guess.
We might have to see if we can find some ARGB fans. All right, so let's go ahead and take the top off, and then this side panel should just slide right out. All right, so pre-installed inside of this combo, we have I wanna make sure I get this right. This is a ROG Strix from Asus, and this is an X570E gaming. So really nice high-end X570. They already run all the cables for you. This is probably one of the coolest parts about this, is the fact that a lot of the hard work is done. I don't think they do a ton of cable management, but I know it's not bad typically. We already have looks like the radiators installed from bitspower, along with some of the hardline tubings that you're gonna need to run. So I think all we have to do is literally open up a couple of these. Actually, no, they're right here. We have 2 ports here. And then I'm sure there's another couple somewhere, but we're gonna run a send line and a return line from the water block. They already even put this on for you. Like they're literally
right there, ready to
you're
go.
ready to get mounted and everything. And then going to the power supply, we didn't get a power supply box, did we?
No, so we're just gonna have to open
We're
up
gonna
the
have to
back and see
actually
what
open
it is. Same deal.
God.
Pull!
Oh, it's a power spec. It's
Oh, we got a good old
actually-
power
I didn't
spec.
see that coming. This is a Microcenter brand 850 watt 80 plus gold. It's fully modular. It actually has all black sleeve cables. I don't think we've gotten the chance to use one of their fully modular ones. I know we've done their semi with like their ketchup and mustard, so this is definitely a fun change. And that's all that's pre-installed. bitspower, motherboard, power supply, I/O shield is of course built in. And then we're going to be putting in this EVGA RTX 3080. It's a For the Win 3 Ultra, so you got this really nice RGB panel up front. It's a nice 3-fan card with the staggered fans. It's a 3080. There's really not much more to say besides it's just an absolutely amazing card. And the fact that we paid $18.99 for this whole entire combo, of course you do have to pay extra for some of the other cool stuff that we got that Matt will talk about, but I think we got a heck of a deal. Heck of a deal.
Yeah.
Now, you get all this stuff, like the motherboard and whatever, in the package, but you have to get some other stuff for this bare bones kit, and of course, the processor's pretty important. This is the Ryzen 9 5900X, which is a 12-core, 24-threaded processor. Why the heck didn't you get a 5950X? What are you doing?
There were a lot more.
There are a lot more. You know what? I don't want to hear that. But anyways, 12 cores and 24 threads is more than enough for a 3080. Really, you could go with a 5800X if you wanted to, but there's no reason not to get a crazy high-end CPU if you're going to do a custom loop on it. If you go with like a basic Ryzen 7, I feel like you're just wasting your money at that point. But really excited to use this CPU. In terms of RAM, we have good old Trident Z RGB. I believe this is 32 gigs at... what speed we're looking at? 3600 megahertz, 2 16 gig sticks, plenty of RAM. You don't really need much more than this for gaming. 32 gigs is kind of the standard if you want a super high-end gaming rig. And we love Trident Z RGB because 1, the RGB looks really good, and 2, XMP works out of the box pretty much every single time. No problems whatsoever with Ryzen, so very excited to use that. And then in terms of SSD, is this Gen 4?
Oh yeah.
This is Gen 4. We got a 1 terabyte Gen 4 SSD. Look at those read and write speeds. Look at those. 5,000 megabytes per second, 4,300 megabytes per second write. Really awesome Gen 4 drive, 1 terabyte of storage will get us up and running, and obviously you can add more drives if you want to in the future. And I think Jackson did everything else. Is that it? That's it?
I think that's it.
So yeah, what we're gonna do is try to put this thing together. Yeah, you can see a time lapse of us failing, and then maybe water will go everywhere. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but let's just do it right now.
Okay everyone, so we got our hard tubing ran right this time. We originally did it without these little risers that have an offset, and then we decided, you know what, it's time to look up a video. We're trying to do all this without instructions. We did pretty good. I mean, I think it would have worked, it might have leaked everywhere. So work is a subjective term, but what we just did was we went to Wally World, and we got lots of tools to choose from, but I think we already know which one we're gonna use. We got this guy here, a funnel with an adjustable tip. Let's actually see, that would fit. It wouldn't be very snug. This just wouldn't work, but we honestly needed a funnel. Now you have this method, which I've seen online, people just using little syringes, so you just get a little bit in there, squeeze it in, still to be a tight fit. This right here I think would work really well. It's a flavor injector. You have a really long needle. The only downside is it comes out right there. It doesn't come out at the end, so you would need to make sure you can get it in far enough, but I think we could. This one Matt picked out, I think this one actually worked pretty good. Yeah, and you could always add like a piece of tubing on the end. So, but the method that we think is going to work the most is putting our EK cryofuel up here so that gravity can do its work with a siphon pump. And look at the size of that tubing. It'll fit right in there really well. So let's go ahead and actually open this up. So just so you guys know the quick plan, we're going to get the fluid into here and we're going to fill it all the way up to the bottom of this fill line. And then we're going to actually power on just the pump with the power supply. The reason we're doing that is because if this does leak, we don't want to have a graphics card in here for it to leak all over, and also there is a chance that if it leaks and the computer's on, we're much more likely to fry stuff. With everything off, we can let it dry out if it leaks. So let's go ahead and try to do this. All right, Matt, I need you to be ready up there to pull the tube out. Okay, pull it out, pull it out. Slowly, don't spill it. Oh God!
What do you want me to do?
No, you're good, you got it. It's just,
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have this gaming PC all booted up and ready to go, let's talk about a couple benchmarks real quick. Now we decided to test this PC in a couple of titles, those being Call of Duty Cold War, Forza Horizon, Apex Legends, Borderlands 3, and Doom Eternal, all at 4K, all at pretty much max settings. And let's first start off with Call of Duty Cold War, which we did use the DLSS performance mode to get the best possible performance, and we averaged 140 plus FPS. It's really no surprise that an RTX 3080 and Ryzen 9 5900X can max out any game we throw at it at 4K, because that's exactly what this combo is made for. We do get our first look at the CPU temperatures. The CPU is actually being cooled by this custom loop, and we see that we're getting around 71 degrees Celsius in Call of Duty Cold War. Now that might be high to you, but you have to keep in mind we were using Precision Boost 2, which is AMD's technology to just boost up the CPU as long as it's getting adequate cooling, and as long as it doesn't hit a thermal limit, it's just going to boost it up, add more voltage, and try to get just automatic overclocking out of the CPU. And we were able to boost up to 4.8, sometimes hitting 4.9 gigahertz under this custom loop, which 71 degrees Celsius running at about 4.9 gigahertz is pretty good if you ask me for a Ryzen 9 5900X. But as you can see throughout the rest of the benchmarks, when that clock speed drops down just a little bit, we are looking more towards like 60 degrees Celsius, and we did run an IDA64 stress test for 24 hours and ended up averaging a temperature of 60 degrees. So with all cores being maxed out, you're getting about 60 degrees Celsius under liquid. You really can't ask for too much more.
Next up, in Forza Horizon 4 on max settings using the built-in benchmark at 4K once again, we average 140 FPS. Forza Horizon 4 is a beautiful game, and we'll be certainly testing Forza Horizon 5 when we get the chance to do so on our future PCs, but hopefully you guys do enjoy the addition of this sort of benchmark because it's something a little bit different, not really types of games that we play, but I know a lot of you out there like racing games, so please, if you guys have any other suggestions for benchmarks, always comment them down below because I always like to add new games to my rotation and just mix things up a little bit when I can. Next up, in Apex Legends at 4K on max settings, we averaged around 100 plus FPS. Let's be honest here, not many people are playing Apex Legends or esports titles at 4K. You're probably better off getting a 1440p monitor or going with a 1080p 240Hz monitor so you can enjoy the super high refresh rate experience. But just to show you that you can run it at 4K, if you so happen to have a 4K 144Hz monitor with this PC, you certainly can do so and have an awesome gaming experience. And the next AAA title we decided to test was Borderlands 3 on max settings once again, and this definitely pushed the RTX 3080 to its limits, averaging only 72 FPS. This is one of the few games that actually dip below 100 FPS at 4K, which again is still very impressive. You could tune the settings a little bit in Borderlands 3 to get better results, but I have noticed that the built-in benchmark in Borderlands 3 can be more demanding than the actual game because it's a stress test, but when you get in the actual game, I would imagine you would get more frames than this on average, so do keep that in mind. And last but certainly not least, we decided to test Doom Eternal at 4K on Ultra Nightmare, and we got 90 plus FPS with a few dips here and there. Overall, this PC performs like we expect. It's an RTX 3080 and Ryzen 9 5900X. Even if you're not doing this custom loop setup, if you're building a PC with these specs, you're going to be incredibly happy, even with just a normal AIO cooler from like Corsair or Arctic or anything like that. You don't really need to go this route, but since we had the opportunity to do this and use this kit from Microcenter, we definitely jumped on the opportunity, and hopefully we didn't screw it up too bad because again, this is our very first time working with this. We got tubes that were really cut for us. We didn't have to do any hard work, so maybe in the future we'll actually get challenged to do our own custom loop and maybe we'll make it work. Fingers crossed it'll actually happen, but let us know down below if you want to see us actually try to do a full custom loop build because this is like baby's first custom loop, and glad we got our chance to do it. Now that we finished the benchmarking section of today's video, how about I bring Jackson back in here to wrap this video up real quick.
Alright guys, so we actually successfully finished this build. We were a little bit worried that the temps were going to be really bad or the block was going to leak or one of the tubes was going to leak, but hey, so far we are looking golden.
Don't be too hard on us. This is our first time doing this, but for the most part it turned out really good, and the kit is very user-friendly. If you're a new builder, I mean, you could make this work just by following the guides that bitspower provides online. Their YouTube channel is actually kind of useful when it came to how we want to mount everything and the tubing and stuff. So if you want to buy this stuff for today's video, links in the description down below. They will be affiliate links and they will help us out. Well, some of it. Most of the stuff you have to go to Microcenter to actually pick up, but yeah, go to Microcenter if you're near one because we love Microcenter.
So thanks again for watching today's video. If you liked it, check out our other two YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/toastybros, where I think we actually built this thing live.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Goodbye.
And hey, if you happen to be local to the Louisville, Kentucky area, our company PCBros.tech has PCs to ship and PCs you can come see locally like this one.
This one will be sitting up front in our store, and if you want to buy it, it will be there for you. So PCBros.tech, or just come into our store. Check out the website. See you guys later. Goodbye.
Peace out.